Hello everyone, my name is Corey, and for today I want to introduce you to a mechanic that can change up the tile world gameplay a little bit. And that mechanic is called the shrink and grow tile. So as you can see here, the green and orange tiles are the shrink and grow tiles, orange being the ability to shrink, green is the one to grow back to normal size. So I'll go ahead and display that mechanic here. As you can see, I can't move this block where it's currently located. And you can see that there's a tunnel here, but the player is not able to get into the tunnel. If I hit this orange tile, I will shrink down to a smaller size, and I am now able to go through the tunnel. And in this smaller form, also when I'm moving through the tunnel, you can notice that it becomes see-through, so you can see the player. I have a little bit of a delay, just so you can kind of moves with the player. But as the player is small, you are able to move this block out of the way. So you can still move blocks as the player is small. But when you hit the green tile, the player goes back to default size, and as you can see, I am not able to go back through the tunnel. But if I go small again, I am able to go back through with no problem. And then I can just hit the finish. Okay, so for some of the things that I included, or that was included, that I needed to make for this was, go to my folder here. Um, so I did make some materials, right? So the green and orange material for the grow and shrink, and I also made this material that is for the tunnel that was going through, just so you can kind of a little bit more of a visual thing for the player to show them that there is something there. And then I created this see-through uh, material so you can actually see the player move through the tunnel. And then so for some of the blueprints, I created the tile grow and shrink. So for the tile grow and shrink, I have both of those functions on the same blueprint. But if you were to come into click on one of those tiles, once you put it onto the board, you can see there is a grow variable here. So if this was set to true, then the tile will be green and the player will grow. If it's set to false, it will be orange and the player will shrink. And then I also created this tile cave, which is this part right here, where you can actually the player can go underneath it. So let's go ahead and open up one of those. So this is the tile cave. I don't know why it opened way over there. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is the tile cave, and as you can see, right in the beginning, so the tile it's going to be set to right on begin play that the player cannot enter it. So when the player actually overlaps it, it's going to do this cast to entity player, verifying that it is the player. Then it's going to take the player's scale and check it. So if it is less than 1, so it's less than the default size, or the player is small, then if that is true, it's going to set the value of that tile to can enter, so the player can actually go into the tunnel. And then once it ends the overlap, it's going to again cast to the entity player, make sure that is the player. It's going to check the 3D scale again and verify that it is greater than or equal to 1 or the default size or bigger. And if that is true, then it's going to set that can enter variable to false and the player cannot go inside the tunnel. Also, for the roof of the tunnel, so you can see when the player enters, I have this on event entered, it's just going to set the material to that see-through material that I showed you. And then they'll go back to that original light gray color upon exit. So event on exit, and then I put that little bit of a delay in there so it's not so suddenly blinking from see-through to the normal color again, and then it will set that material. And then for the tile grow and shrink, for this one, an event begin play has this branch here, and there's that variable that I was talking about, which as you can see down here is instance editable, so I can do it from the editor. So I got this branch. If grow is set, if that is true, then it's going to set the material of the plane or the tile to that light green. And if it is false, then it's going to set it to that orange color. And if you come down here, event on entered. So when you entered, it's going to check for that grow variable. If it is true, then it's going to make sure that it is um, the actual entity player. That's one thing I didn't show back in the thing. Well, you could see it, but I just didn't mention it. So as the block moved over that green grow tile, it didn't get any bigger or it didn't get any smaller. It won't affect anything but the player. This grow string tile, because they're right here. Because of right here, it's actually verifying if it is the player or not. And if it is, then it's going to, for this grow, it's going to set it to the default values, which is 111. If this grow is false, then it's going to verify it's the player and set it to half the size, so 0.5 for all three of these factors. And I believe that is it. That is all I had for this mechanic. Thank you and have a nice day.